Me, what exactly is the webinar about? So I'm going to take this opportunity to give us a brief background of why we are gathered here today. So today we are going to have a panel discussion on the roles library play in inculcating early childhood, early literacy skills into children, and also how our mother tongue languages play an effective role in inculcating this early literacy in these kids, and also how we go about achieving these things. And also we should know that early literacy is the key. I always tell people that early literacy is the key to every human existence in this world. So our theme for today is going to be improving library services delivery for early literacy development in Africa, and what are the best practices that we can approach in achieving this. I can't do this alone. So with me, I have three beautiful, strong women who I'm going to mention their names, and then they will briefly give us an introduction of themselves. I have Inkem Ogu, I have Destinate Davis, and then last but not the least, Alice Chingamba. They are going to be our panelists for this program. So I'll call Inkem, followed by Destinate, and then Alice for them to give us a brief introduction of themselves. Thank you, ladies. You can go on.
I am Kem Algo Macy's, and I'm a director in the library services, public library services in Nigeria, Enugu State, in Nigeria. I love working with children, and I loved the program we had, and I am ready here to rub mind with others, and so that others out there, people out there, will gain from our wealth of knowledge, and we will also gain from their own. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Inkem. Destinate, can you please also give us a brief introduction of yourself? Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Hello, I'm Destinate Davis from Sierra Leone. I work for the Sierra Leone Library Board. I hold a BA Honors in Library and Information Science, and I also happen to be the founder and director of a registered organization in Sierra Leone called Dynamic Skills International. We focus on developing the early literacy needs of young children. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Destinate. So these are our two panelists who are going to take us through today's webinar. And I call them our two strong, powerful ladies. Yes, so without further ado, I'd like to remind all of us that if you have any question, please type them into the question box down there. We have a Q&A control panel there. Please type all your questions there, and then we will attend to everyone's question in due time. Please don't forget that. Type in all your questions, please. So without further ado again, we'll go on with the main reason why we are here today. We have some few questions that we are going to ask our two powerful ladies here today. I would love to start with Inkem. Please, why early literacy? Why do you think children need to learn literacy skills before they start school between the ages of 5 and then 6? Thank you.
Thank you so much for the question. You know that early literacy helps children develop skills that will help them throughout their life. That's that logo we use, that solution we use to say, catch them young. Now, that children we're talking about is from 0 to maybe 5, 6. But remember, any pregnant woman should learn this. Talk to your child, even when the child is still in the womb. Especially when you are at later part of your pregnancy, continue to talk to the child. When you give birth, talk to the child. From what you are telling the child is developing something. And when the child reaches a year or so, don't even wait that long. Continue to show them one thing or the other. Point out things to them. Because from what you are giving them, they are developing something in them. The skill they are developing in them is powerful. They can now, when they start talking, they will now, from what you have been giving to them, they will now produce something. One, this helps them in their phonetics. How sound language. You know, you have to use sound language to match with something they can see. When you say come to a child, maybe you ask the person come, you do yourself, you do a hand like this, come, and that child will see you doing that. So when you are, from time to time, the child will know that you are asking the child to come. Okay, when you say something like, get me this, from that early stage, the child is learning. This will give that child, especially when you give that child such thing, it will help the child anywhere, any day. In short, the child will be proud. A child that learns very well from early stage can never be the same with one who has not been exposed. One, fear is out of their sight. Two, they learn easier in maybe informal education, because those ones are informal. When you are talking to your child, like a mother, a caregiver, a teacher, that kind of, okay, not teachers this time around, because they are not in school. At home, when you are reading any novel, bring them close to you. When the dad is reading newspapers, sitting on the lap, the child will be trying to maybe fold the paper. No, just tell the child the paper is good. It's important that you're getting something from it. And that child will learn. They will start caring for books. When they see one, they will start caring for it. And at the age, at any stage of their life, give them something that is suitable to them. When they start talking, there are materials you will show them. There are things you will let them know, like singing of lullaby during bedtime is part of the early skills. When they hear you today, hear you tomorrow, hear you the next day, they continue to copy it. At a point in time, they will start copying you. When you make a sound, they want to make that same sound you made. When you say something, they want to imitate you. That's a relationship between sound and letters sometimes. When they see A and they heard your voice say A, they will want to imitate you. B, they will want to imitate you. So that's what is in sound and vocabulary. What you call it vocabulary, that's the sound and the letters, kind of. Now, spellings. As they continue to move, there's another stage they will reach. You start showing them. Spell this, C-A-T, cat. That voice and what you are showing them will be moving together, rhyming together, and they will continue to learn. Another thing is reading comprehension. Make them to understand. These are the skills they need to know. Make them to understand. Don't just say one thing today and leave it at that. Continue to let them. When you speak that language, match it with something, match it with a kind of activity. Do you understand? So this will help that child. This will help that child to learn more and to understand more. Now, there are things we call playing. In the home, you play dress up. That child, maybe in your native attire, or this, there's a way you can do that. The child will copy you. The child will want to do what the mommy did, or how the daddy does something, how the daddy does something, or how the mommy does. Play dress up in the house. Sing. All these things help that child to develop a skill and help them in future. Wherever they are, it will give them time, it gives them an edge over others that has never been exposed to that. Relationship matters. Your relationship with your child. Let me tell you something. If you are an avid reader, your child will copy you. If you love books, your child will copy you. Don't ever let a child say that, oh, she is a child, she is this. And because of that, you won't correct them when they do. No. Make sure that whenever they want, like I use this example of when a daddy is reading a newspaper and the child wants to fold it, teach the child no. Spread it, show the child reason there are something in that newspaper you're reading. Maybe you come down to his or her level to say something in that newspaper. This is A or B. It is for something. And when the child is going with you, that child will know. That's why we need that early literacy.
Thank you so much, Ingem. Thank you so much. And as you can see, some of the things she said was that we should try and then be good examples to our children. Whatever we do at home, they copy at that age. That age is very sensitive. Whatever we say, whatever we do, they copy at home. So if you are parents, and then we should know that at this age, a lot of children will not be in school. They'll be at home with us. So then, if you are a reading parent, your child is going to grow to love books, to love reading. So we should be careful around this age and then try as much as possible and then have time for this kids. From what she said, we should have time for them to love reading and then inculcate these habits in them before they go to school. Thank you so much, Nkem. Thank you so much. And we go on to the next question that is going to be for Dustinet. And the question is, what role has African public and then the community libraries in general, and then your library in particular, been playing as patents to early literacy development? Dustinet.
Yes, thank you very much. For years, libraries have been offering various services to their patrons, right across Africa. And every day, things keep changing and improving, especially with regards the way we learn as human beings, the way we learn and grow and develop ourselves. So libraries have definitely been able to embrace um, the roles they need to play in order to contribute to early literacy development. And like I said, right across Africa, African libraries have been doing a very good job with regards providing materials, providing information resources for their patrons, ensuring that the people they serve have access to the information they need to learn, to grow, and to develop. When it comes to early literacy, African libraries, and most especially my library here in Sierra Leone, have been doing a lot to ensure that young children grasp the habit of learning at a very early stage. As a library, we provide access to reading and learning resources that are meant for very young children. We cater for children. In fact, we cater for babies, right up to the infant stage. So we ensure that our library's collection has materials that can serve these very young readers or these very young users of our libraries. Also, we collaborate with the Ministry of Education. Our Ministry of Education are responsible to develop policies, to give out the rules with regards how children are supposed to be taught, how children are supposed to be encouraged to learn. And we all know that most of the time, these policies, it's difficult to bring these policies into practice. It can be written down in one paper that, oh, children should be read to when they are young. But who is going to read to these children when they are young? How is it going to be possible to achieve that? That's when we come in as a library to ensure that these policies are being practiced. And with regards that kind of policy, wherein it has been stated that young children are to be read to, young children are to be taught and develop their early literacy skills, we ensure that we provide the environment for that to happen. We provide the resources. We provide the manpower to ensure that this come into effect. We also introduce early literacy skills to preschool and elementary school children. As librarians in the library, it's our role to teach these young children like my colleague has just mentioned, it starts from the home. The home has a role to play, definitely. The school also has the role to play. And we also, as librarians and libraries, we have our own role, wherein we encourage these children to come into the library. And when they come into the library, we serve also as teachers of these skills, these early literacy skills of learning to read and write, especially. We teach them these skills. We use materials and resources that enable us to pass on these skills of reading and writing. As a library as well, we organize activities that present the early literacy skills as a rewarding experience because we know that when it comes to education and learning, most of the time we try to picture it or present it as a very serious, task. And if children are being brought up in that manner to fear the process of education, to think that, oh, this is a very difficult task, probably I cannot be able to do it, then at a very young age, children will shy away from learning. So what we do as a library and as librarians, we ensure that we provide activities for these kids that they can enjoy and that they can find rewarding activities that can benefit them and benefit us as a library as well. Such activities include games. We ensure that we engage them in play, just as my colleague also mentioned earlier. Early literacy activities cannot go without play, especially when the people we are dealing with are very young children. We cannot separate play from learning. So that is why we organize these activities for them so that they can enjoy learning. Learning is meant to be enjoyed. Learning is meant to be fun filled. By doing this, the kids will be able to participate wholly. They'll be able to relax. They'll be able to express themselves. They'll be able to take in what is being passed on to them. So that is why, like I'm saying, we develop several activities including the story hour activities, including games, quizzes, including storytelling sessions. Even we even encourage them to go outdoors as well. When they come into the library, we don't just limit them to that library space wherein probably they are surrounded by screens, and other type of media. We also ensure that we take them outside the library wall so that they can be able to feel and experience what they have read in the books, what we have showed them, what we have spoken to them. We take them out. For instance, if we've read in the library, we've read a book that talks about the trees are green, the sun is shining. We take them outdoors now and point them out to see the trees, that they are indeed green, to look up the sky and see that indeed it's sunny, it's shining out there. All of these activities enable the children to grasp the idea of developing their early literacy and development skills. So we also interact with teachers, parents, and caregivers. As a library or as libraries and as librarians, we cannot deal with the children alone. We definitely have to make sure we partner with their parents, with their caregivers, and even the teachers in the school. Like I said, it involves three parties in this field: the home, the school, and then the library. So definitely we collaborate with the teachers as well. We make sure we organize program, we create the atmosphere wherein we have discussions with the parents as well. And again, like my colleague stated earlier, a lot happens in the home, and most of the time, parents are not aware of the role they can play towards encouraging their children's early literacy skills. So that's where we come in again as librarians to ensure that we teach the parents, we encourage them, we show them ways in which they can be able to interact with their kids and pass on these develop these literacy skills. Even the caregivers, most of the time, they do come to the library. Caregivers come in maybe from different organizations, from different schools. Parents also, there are parents who are actually interested in what is going on with their children. They come in to us, and whenever they come in, we make sure we engage them. And those who don't, we invite them to come to the library. We prepare letters, invitations. We call them to come into the library so that we'll be able to talk with them, teach them, encourage them so that they also can play their roles from the home. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nate. What I heard is that to be able to inculcate this early literacy in the kids, there are three parties involved. That is the home, the school, and then the librarians. And then from what she said, and from what we have in our country here in Ghana, I can say that little by little, Africa is getting why we should inculcate this habit in the kids, in these children. Yes, and I'm happy that we are all here today to learn from each other. And once again, I would say that if you have any question, please do type it in the question box in there. And if you want to join this panel discussion, to type in your suggestions and then your ideas in the chat box down there. Thank you very much. And then please, I said we have three strong panelists here. The last one, a little bit challenges hindered her coming here early. So I'll mention her name and she'll briefly introduce herself. That is Dr. Inkem, and then she would answer the next question. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm not a panelist, you know. I'm just here for you. Hello?
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. So just go on.
So yes, I can see some people here. I can see Ngozi, I can see Vale, I can see Olga, I can see Otema. Thank you all for joining us. Sorry if I didn't get your name right. I would get it right after the program. So thank you all for joining. So we go in for our next question, and that will be for Inkem. And the question is, the Story Hour program is held almost in all public and community libraries. Are there any ideas you have to make it more responsive, and then impactful?
Yes, I have. You know, when you build a great content in your library, it draws people closer to you, especially when they know that you have very good things to offer them. So during the story hour, some call it kiddies time, variety is just a show. Before you engage children, you know they like to play. But all work and no play makes like a Jack and Doll boy. But this time around, they like a lot of play, but there is a way you control it. During the programs, you make sure you have a good schedule for what you have every time they come. And you know, variety is the spice of good things. Everybody should be engaged there. The librarian should be there. And you should involve their parents, because if you give them assignments like the story they will tell the next time they come, they will enjoy it. When you involve the children is involved as well to case themselves. And if you give any child something to present in the next program, be sure, be rest assured that that child will learn that thing very well. You know, during our story hours, there are things we used to do. One, debates. Give them things at their levels. And when they know that they are going to present, maybe they are going to debate with maybe this school and this school, or this group and this group people, there are some schools that come, maybe some have a large representatives. So we give them a competition, some schools. There are some we give science time, questions for science time, from all the things they do in school. Quite all right. That's why most of the time the library gets some of the curriculum of the school. This helps us to engage them positively. And for that thing to be, it can be a formal education, something, you make it to be a kind of play learning. And in that play learning, it draws them because it is not what they experienced. And when they are going in this program and you give them assignments for the next one, they are eager to come. Is that sometimes time ago, there's a guy, he's always on his phone. We started fishing him out, not embarrassing him. You know that some kids feel embarrassed when they feel they can't do something and you're asking them to do it. No. How do you do it? You test them, see how far they have gone within you and them. The librarians, we share ourselves. We make sure that you're handling this group, you're handling this group, and those ones that cannot meet up with others, we give them a little time out. We reach their parents, they give us guides on what they have been up to and how they have been doing things. And with the way we are bringing their parents and everything, we send text messages, we call them, we chat them on WhatsApp. That with that, from maybe through the WhatsApp, we give them certain things that we know will help the child. The parents help the child at home. And when the child presents, don't let that child or anybody laugh at the person as if he's not doing it right. Rather, we usually inculcate in them that there is goodie in hailing somebody, good or bad. The only person we used to tell them that the only person that will correct is us. Do you know why? If a child boos another child, the child will go in to the shop. But if everybody is calm and they clap, even if the child makes a mistake, you use another child to correct him when that child answers question right. So in programs, in every month program, like in the library, in our public library, we made sure that every child that comes to that program, any day is going out happy. Remember that when you are organizing such programs, libraries used to complain about funds, but don't even take it to that of the children. Make sure it brings them back the next time. Activity, the first they are building up, the way you are organizing them, the environment, and the things they are exposed to. There are things that were not in our library before, but after this program, we started putting it into our own library. And there are play pens that help them. When they come, they are looking forward to using that play pen. There are building blocks and every other thing they don't have at home. They know that they will enjoy it in the library. Now they can use the system freely without anybody, oh, come down there, oh, do this or that, because they are being guided. So every program every thing we plan for the children, we make sure that we plan it so that it will be impactful to them and they will enjoy it. You are not among the people that will come next program. Hey, auntie, why? Have I done something wrong? They will continue to agitate. You know why you will used to wait. Sometimes we're talking about what we cannot write this in prayer. Everybody can come. So what I'm trying to say here is that the activity you build in your programs, the content of the things you teach them, and the way you handle them brings them back. It gives them the morale. It gives them they feel happy and relaxed being in the library, and they make friends with the librarians. It's a kudos to us librarians because if you have 2 children, now you're accounting them 50, 100, 120. That's the way I see them as my children. And when they call you auntie this, auntie that, mommy this, mommy that, you feel proud because it's a joyful moment. Make sure it's a joyful moment for them. And teach them how not to bully their younger ones. Teach them reasons they should not be fighting amongst themselves. There are times our parents don't have time to discuss certain issues with them. I won't go this far on this because the ones I am talking about now is not the early ones, it's the secondary school ones. There are groups we taught something, and let me tell you, one of the child come back to tell us this is what our mommy does to us. You know, we privately invite that parents and talk, just chat the parent up. The parent become remorseful and changed. So it is building good relationship for the library and the home they come from. So it's so impactful. And furthermore, when you relate with people, you never know where you can meet them again. Some of these kids that come, there are Sunday, a man just walked into the library. After watching what we are doing, do you know that the participants of that day went back home with some envelope? Why? I don't know the amount there because we just gave it as he did. He went out, bought envelope, put something in that envelope, we didn't open it. He asked us this, I will give it this. The people that he felt that does very well that when you encourage kids, they do more. When you encourage kids, that aspect of it, you know, we used to give them pen, pencil, eraser, depending on their age and so some of them we give them exercise books, some we give them novels, some we give when they do well. So encouraging them when they are doing well gives them that morale to do more. So what we are trying to say, it is very, very important to always have that kids time or children's program in your library, especially the public library, where you don't have limits of the people that come. Do you know that we used to carry the younger ones as if it is our children? We feed them their bottles when the time comes because some of them were left with us and pick them again. So it is very important for the library. In short, it's a way that the library is enjoying relationship with the community they serve. The children's program is one of the biggest relationship the community have with the library. It's really unfortunate that some don't even know it's important. But well, after our literacy program, read aloud program, that we went to the television and the radio to showcase what we have been doing. So all these are going on there, and so many of them start bringing in most of their children to the library. And I am telling you here, as we are here, sometimes we used to say, you know, in our eyes, we thought that we have a lot of children. So many of them, because every day they continue to increase. Even when they are in secondary school, they want to come back to read to the library for their jam, to do this, and to interact. Some of them will say, Auntie, I am now old enough to be a teacher. So they will want to start guiding the younger ones because they enjoyed it when they were coming. They want to teach others. So it's really enjoyable. And I pray that most of the libraries across board will see the impact of kiddies' time in the library. It is one of the ways libraries are in the community.
Thank you so much, Nkem. Thank you so much. So as she said, for us to have a nice story hour, we need to involve these kids, involve them, take ideas from them. It will make them feel powerful. It will make them feel belonged. It will make them feel loved. And also be creative. Be creative as a librarian. Be creative. Children love colors. Children love to draw. Children love to do this. Sometimes take the story from the kids. And then you can tell them, sometimes in my library, I can ask the kids, tomorrow when you come, you are going to tell us a story. This one is going to tell us a story. So involve them. In a nutshell, this is what it means, involve the kids. Be a mother or be a parent to these kids. Make them comfortable around you. Make them comfortable around you. Thank you so much, Nkem. Thank you so much. And I can see more people are joining. And once again, please, if you have any question, do type it in the Q&A box, not the chat box. Please, if you have any question, type it in the Q&A box. If you want to involve yourself in this panel discussion too, you can type your thoughts and your ideas in the chat box. Thank you so very much. We will go on with our questions. That's in it. And please, we would like to know from you, how can the library space be made attractive and welcoming for the children? Thank you.
Thank you very much. First of all, we need to understand that the library, we need to understand the role the library play in the children's life. From our own experience here, we've come to observe that these children see the library or our libraries as the best place they can be. They also see it as the place that they can feel the most comfortable. This is because, as we know, in Africa, most of these children probably they come from communities or homes where they are very plenty and they feel clustered, they feel uncomfortable, especially maybe to study after school, to do their homework, to read, to learn. So when they find out that in fact there is a space that they can come to and they can be free to read as long as they want, they can be free to ask questions, they can be free to play, and even sometimes rest their tired heads. So therefore, it is definitely important that we ensure that our library spaces are very comfortable and attractive for these children, because when they come in, they spend very long hours. Most of the time, they come in after school. They spend all the afternoon right up to the evening hours before they go home or before they're picked up by their parents. So they spend a lot of time in the library. So it's important that we need to be sure that the space we provide for them is attractive. They should be excited to come into the library. There should be something they are looking forward to see in the library, and also they should know that if at all they have been uncomfortable out there, probably in school, they've had a rough day at school, probably, the teachers have been hard on them, or if they are coming from the home, probably they have done a lot of chores since morning, so they should be excited that at least there is that place that I can go, that I can relax, I feel safe, there's fresh air, I can even sit comfortably in a very soft sofa, I can even lie if I'm tired. So that is why we in the library, we make sure that the place has these kind of facilities for the children. For instance, in my library, it's very colorful, which is also important for all libraries out there. It should be very colorful. Children love brightness, they love light, they love colors. So you should ensure that your library is well illuminated. You should ensure that it is colorful, if possible. Make sure that the walls are painted in very bright colors. And interestingly or fortunately, children's books are always colorful, so we can also use that to decorate the library, arrange the books in such a way that you can be able to display their beautiful covers, and pages. So that is one way, or these are just some of the ways that you can be able to, you know, prepare a very comfortable space for the children who come into the library. And like I'm saying, arrangement is very important. The way you arrange the library space can attract the children. As a librarian, you have to be creative in the way you arrange the books in the library. The seating arrangement is also very important. You should always ensure that no matter how your tables and chairs are arranged, there should also be enough play space for the children, because like we have been saying over and over, learning goes with play. There should be that space where the children can feel free, maybe to run a bit, and they can be able to move around to select the books they want to read. Because that is something we also encourage. It's not only us choosing the books for them, we also encourage them to move to the shelves and select the books they would like to read. So there should be enough room around the shelves and around the tables and chairs that are inside the library space. We also need to ensure that the environment supports learning. That is by creating a clean teach environment. Most of the time, the homes are not clean teach environments, meaning that the children don't see a lot of, alphabets, numbers, writings. They don't see a lot of it around them. So when they come to the library, they should be sure that yes, we are in a learning atmosphere. So there should be prints all around, done in colorful ways. There should be charts, there should be pictures, posters, drawings, you know, um, letters, cutouts, things that in fact you can be able to engage the children to prepare and decorate the library's environment. The library has to be comfortable, like I'm saying. In my library, for instance, we make sure that we have beddings, because since we encourage very young children, babies as well as toddlers, we made sure that we created a little sleeping area, because no matter what, they sometimes fall asleep, they get tired, so we ensure that we have sleeping areas so whosoever falls asleep can be carried and laid down in a very clean and comfortable place. And we also ensure that we have comfortable sofas, soft cushioned chairs, pillows, that these children can really relax and they can spend hours and hours of just reading, browsing pictures, playing with one another, teasing themselves, because even though the library is normally seen as an environment that should be so quiet, if a pin falls down, you should hear it. But with children, you definitely have to make room for some noise, so we encourage them with that. And you also have to make sure that your floor space, the library's floor space, should be always clean and dry, especially when you are welcoming very young children. Most of them sit on the floor, most of them lie on the floor. So you have to ensure that your library floor space is clean. And some libraries, in fact, they um, encourage you to take off your shoes or your sandals and put on socks, before you come in. So that will keep away all the sandy and the dust particles, from bringing it into the library. So that the library's floor space will always be clean and dry, free from sand and jams. That is very important as well. Like I had Inkem mentioning as well again, the library needs to have toys, it needs to have things that these children can play with. It should not just be books, books, books. Interestingly and thankfully, we have lots of different things that children can use to learn apart from books. We have puzzle games, we have, our local Ludo games, snake and ladders. We also have some movable toys as well, like riding horses, things that the children can be able to push around. And as they are doing these things again, they are learning in the process. We have alphabet boxes, we have the Scrabble, we have the snake and ladders, all of these things in the library can be able to help them to, they will be attracted, to come into the library, and it also helps them to learn while doing these activities in the library. So it's very important that as librarians and libraries, one key component of offering early literacy skills to young children is the environment in which you bring these children. They should not come into the library and get hurt. You have to ensure that your furniture that you use are not broken, they are not dangerous. The chairs should not have nails sticking out of them. There should not be broken shelves that can probably fall down on them and cause an accident on them. So this is why, again, as we have been taught, all of these goes with a lot of funding. As librarians, we need to be creative. We need to have ways and means of raising funds, connecting with the right partners so that we'll be able to have the necessary equipment that we need to offer our services to these young children. So that at the end of the day, as we are giving out to them, as we are giving out the knowledge, as we are nurturing them, we are not also probably affecting them physically. Um, in Africa, mostly children who come into the library, most of the time they have their issues that they bring into the library. This is also an experience that we've had when these children come in, it's not because they are children that means all they think about is play, eat and dancing. Some of these children, as young as they have emotional problems that they are struggling with. So, as librarians, again, this is why the librarian is so versatile. You fit into so many roles. As a librarian, you are a parent, you are a teacher, you are a counselor, you are a nurse, you do all of these things because when you are dealing with children, you have to ensure that you don't only focus on one aspect of their lives. When children are around you, you will notice when they are hungry, you will notice if they are sick, you will notice if they are sad. So when they come into the library, we observe these things in them again. Sometimes we notice a child who had probably spent the whole morning in school with no food. Then we have to see how best we can even share our food with that child. Sometimes there are children who come in who will have to notice that this child seems sad. Even though others are reading and playing and learning, this child seems withdrawn, So we'll question the child in a very professional way, try to see what's going on or what's bothering this particular child. And indeed, when done with patience, we'll see that these children will start opening up to us. They'll feel comfortable. They'll start talking that, oh, I'm staying with my stepmother. She's been harsh with me. I can't tell my father all of these things. And then sometimes again, we go as far as even inviting again these parents, we invite them, we try to talk to them, see how best they can make situations better for their kids at home. So with all of these things put together, it's obvious that the children are always excited to come to the library. They're always excited to be in our midst because they feel safe. It's important that the children who comes into your library has to feel safe in the library. They have to know that they are not going to be judged based on what they are putting on. We serve the public. We are public libraries, so we definitely have those who are said to be rich. We have those who are said to be poor. All of these children come into the library, so therefore we have to ensure that we don't look down upon them based on what they are wearing. We don't give special attention to those who are maybe properly dressed or better dressed, so we give them all the same service. We offer the same service to all of the different children who comes into the library. So whenever they come, they feel comfortable, they feel safe, they are able to settle down and learn. They are able to settle down to receive the early literacy skills we are offering them. So um, after ensuring that your library is colorful, after ensuring that your library space is print rich, after ensuring that you have all of the resources, you also have to ensure that um, your presentation, you have to be welcoming to the children. You have to make sure they feel welcome, ensure that they feel safe with you. With all of these, the children will long to use the library. They'll keep on coming. We have some of them who have started since they were toddlers. They are still with us in the library. Some of them have gone to higher schools now, higher primary schools, even secondary schools. No matter how long maybe they stop from coming to the library, they always come back to visit to tell us that, oh, I'm now doing so well in school. This is what I've achieved. I've sat to an external exam. I've passed. There's always that relationship, that ongoing relationship with the children that we serve in the library. And like they say, teachers don't get old. We grow together with the children we teach. As librarians, we never get old. We are always in the lives of these children. Whenever they see us in the streets, they are happy to see us, to say, yes, Auntie, do you remember me? I used to come to the library. We used to do this and do that. And then you will feel that indeed you have impacted the lives of people. You are impacting the lives of young children. These children can be able to trust you. It's a very cruel world out there. At least these children need to have at least that one person that they can trust, that one person that they can confide in. So as librarians, we have to make sure we are that person. When the home fails, when the school can't match up, let the library be the safest place that these children can find themselves and be comfortable to learn. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dustinate. Thank you. That was a whole lot of knowledge. Thank you so much. So we should make our libraries very colorful, very comfortable, very welcoming. And as the librarians ourselves, we should be parents to these children. We should make them comfortable. And all work and no play. Don't fill your libraries with just books. Add toys, sometimes make them color, paste it on the walls or on the notice boards, make them tell stories, find comfortable chairs and what have you. Thank you so much, Dustinate. And please, if you have any question, type it in the question box. If you have any suggestion or any addition, you can type it in the chat box. Thank you all so much for joining. I can see Benita, I can see Jallo, I can see Molegeta. Sorry if I don't get the name right. You are all welcome. So we'll continue. Inkem, please, you take the next question. And then it says, children learn first in their mother tongue. Please share how libraries can key into this in order to drive early literacy development. Thank you. Okay, sorry, it seems Inkem is having some technical challenges. So then Dr. Inkem will help us with this question. Thank you very much. Oh, okay, she's here. Sorry for the misunderstanding. She's here. So Inkem, if you didn't hear me, I said children learn first in their mother tongue. Please share with us how libraries can key into this in order to drive early
in the
literacy
mother
because
tongue?
of needs? Yes, please. Should I repeat the question again?
I think I heard you.
Okay.
I heard
All right.
you.
Okay. All right.
Hello.
Thank you very much. Yes, we can hear you, please. Thank
I
you.
said that mother tongue. I said that mother tongue is the language a child should learn. Unfortunately, these days, some use another language even at home, and it is wrong. That basic language is what the child orders to come. It gives that child the morale to face the public, any challenge around him or her in his or her locality. Now, the library as a second home should also, in the vicinity you are, try and use mother tongue. But be sensitive that in the public that when you come to the library, people of different tribes come to the library, public library. So what you need to do is this: select those that already understand. You know, people will say, you don't hear our language. That person is not there. It's where we should call it, you don't understand. Those that don't understand that language, fish them out. Make them enjoy other things. Then people from that locality, give them things that they should learn. Because let me give you, there's a cousin of mine that were outside the country. To be fair, to our greatest surprise, at a point he brought back two of his children. Why? The child committed an offense with another child. But because they are using their local language, their mother tongue in the home, that other people told the child what she's going to tell the teacher in the school. But there is no way this other person can communicate with the child. You see, they lost it. To her greatest surprise, her child committed the same offense with this person. Her child was punished, but the other person went scot-free because of mother tongue. So it is very imperative. Us parents out there should learn it. We librarians are teaching it. That's why we are now, in short, we are trying materials, more reading materials in mother tongue. Because we had few in the library, we now decided to translate. Librarians now translate. We pick storybooks, translate it to the local language. When we were having programs, when it is time for that, our language, maybe the local language for that community, make sure that children participate very well according to their age. Because before you know it, they become translators also. You make them become, they will love to read books, because you will read a book before you can translate that book. You will very well before you can. It gives us joy when we are doing it and we tell the children that we did it, they will want to follow suit. They want to do their own. We give something they knew and knew very well. Like, you know, if it's names that provide the name, the local name in English, or they will find it difficult to translate some names, they will come to your auntie, what is this called in Igbo or in this, depending on the language. Because I'm a Nigerian, I'm in Igbo, that's why I'm saying Igbo, because Igbo is my language, the other thing. So there's you can just give them simple storybooks to translate. Ask them questions in the local language. Ask them how they can direct people, strangers, language. Maybe somebody meets you along the way. How do you direct that person? How do you know this? And you see something there, an advert there. How can you translate this? What is written in the billboard in our local language? You sing them. Some of them will even sing it for you because they are learning it. It is very, very important. Local language or mother tongue is very, very important in the life of every child. because it is paid of that person's steps to every other thing. Now, if a child maybe it boosts that esteem, because when you speak your own language, in Nigeria we have three
Yeah, hello. Sorry for the technical challenges. I think Income is facing some technical challenges. So we will go on with the program because we are running out
in
of
their
time.
own. Why can't you convert in your own?
Okay,
It's because you don't know you are teaching them that. All right. So if it is so, please at home get them to know it in the library, so that when they get home, their parents should know that they are learning it, and their parents should follow suit. Some have been even punished in the school for speaking their local language. It is wrong. It's very wrong. We have to tell it to our teachers. Don't punish a child within the locality that speaks his or her own local language in the school to converse with others. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Nkem. Thank you. And we should know that our local or our mother tongue language is very, very important. Even me as a librarian, I remember there was a time someone said something I didn't understand, but when the person said it in my local language, I was able to grasp the thing easily. And the same goes for these children too. So local language or our mother tongue language is very powerful in inculcating this early literacy in our children. And so we will take our last question. And please, my panelists have some, we'll each take 1 minute to answer. And the question is, what is one particular thing you gained from the early literacy development course? Destinate. Please, you have a minute to answer this question. Thank you. We are running out of time.
Thank you very much. One particular thing I got from this course was to be professionally trained to teach children reading, because over the years we have noticed that we have a role to play in teaching these kids how to read, and we have been doing it in our library, but we have been doing it in our own, local way. But with this early literacy course, I was able to learn in a very much professional manner how to teach children how to read using different methods, including the phonics method, the look and say method, and also the language experience method, which has really helped us now to do teaching reading better in my library. Thank you very much.
Destinate, thank you. Income, you also answer the same question. What exactly have you learned from this early literacy course that we took? Thank you. You have a minute.
It helped me to look down into our children's section of the library and improve it more. And put more, we engage more of the children instead of teaching them, because they are being taught in school. We engage them more this time around, so that we even want them to teach us. When they are participating very well, I found that they are happier and they are more encouraged. Secondly, I noticed that some of the things we don't have in the library, we can put, that is some of the books we don't have in the library, we can provide it through translation, and we give them the chance to help us in translating. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So now, because of time, I've seen all your questions, but then we would take only one question and then answer here. The rest of them will be answered on the platform on WhatsApp. So please be checking there. We are very much grateful for your time, for being here and then asking questions. But then because of time, we would only answer one question here. The rest of the questions will be answered on the platform. Yes, so this question came from Tapnos Madondo. And his question is that technology, how can we use technology to inculcate this early literacy in these kids, because now these kids, they can even take your phone and then they can do something on it. But then the library seems as though we are lacking behind when it comes to technology. So he wants to know how we are doing well with moving from the paper-based to this technology phase in helping these kids. Thank you very much. So Inkem or Dustin, please, one of you can answer, and it should be brief. Thank you very much.
Okay. For me, I would say that already, in fact, we are using technological tools to teach early literacy. For instance, we have the television set in our library where we play, cassettes, audio recordings of the story themselves. The story themselves can be listened to. Most of the books come with their CD recordings attached to them. We also pass on these literacy skills by allowing them to watch songs, sing along songs that they can repeat, nursery rhymes that they can repeat and see how the actions are being done on TV. That is one way. Also, there are also some tools that we use to broadcast online materials to them. For example, the projector. We project online reading materials. There are some certain stories that we don't have the physical books with us in the library. So we have no option but to connect online, and then we display it to them using our projector, and then we read together.
And in our own, for my own response, I would tell you that we use tablets, we use computers, we have computers in the library, we use tablets. We teach them how to download storybooks, how to download materials they can use, like the ones on, for the early ones, how to download Laura spelling bees that has been done before. We should some of these things. We have television also, and there's something they don't normally see now. Formerly, we used to have mobile library services, and currently we don't have that mobile library services. We used to tell them, we show them, because we have a record of it, how it runs, the routes it runs, and we are happy because asking us why it's not going now. It's part of the system in the government. So that's what we tell them. But they wouldn't understand, but we know. But the point is this: we are trying to improve on e-library for them more than the adult session because of,
Yes.
of lack of.
Yes. Thank you
funds.
very much. Thank you very much. And I want to say a very big thank you to all of you that joined, our strong panelists too. We appreciate you. We appreciate AfLIA too for giving us this platform to learn and then have this panel discussion. Thank you everyone from all across Africa for giving us a little bit of your time to do this. We appreciate all of you, and we hope this webinar has been very impactful, and then we will learn from this. Please, if you have any question, or we will answer the questions, but then if you have any questions, you can send it to afliacom.aflia.net. And those of you that are on the platform, to answer your questions on the platform. Thank you so much once again. I am Ejewa from Ghana, your moderator. Thank you, and everybody have a nice day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and God bless. Oh, somebody raised her hand or his hand. Mm. Thank you.